of space on my computer. So no more crashing, hopefully, and no more running out of space. All right. So today, let's work on building on what we've done so far, right? So far we've learned about EC2, we've learned ElasticBeanstalk, we've learned S3, we've learned AWS Lambda, right? We've learned CloudWatch, right? So we're not doing too badly, and we've explored, integrating Lambda, AWS Lambda, and CloudWatch by creating CloudWatch rules, right? We've seen how your CloudWatch rules can execute Lambda functions, either based on an event trigger or based on a schedule, right? So what I want us to try to do now, at the last class, we didn't get the S3 bucket to trigger the Lambda function, right? And so what I want us to do today is to explore those concepts more, but also Ralph and Dapo, we're both trying to connect to your MySQL database from your Lambda function. Yes. Let's talk about that and let's see what problem you're trying to solve, right, with that approach, okay? And it's not a gotcha thing, it's just, I just want to see, what you're thinking. And then, because part of the practice of being, solutions architect or cloud architect is that you are designing a solution for a problem, right? So I want to see, I want to kind of get into what it is you're trying to do. And then we may see that, oh, okay. I mean, I would like us to figure it out and solve that, right? But we would also like us to think of whether that is the right solution for what you're trying to do. Okay, so let's start off with that. So you talked about, you did some more work with Lambda and S3. Did you get your S3 to trigger the Lambda function?
It did not. I did a delete version. You put a delete object version and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Did it a few times. Didn't get any response. Waited a bit. Didn't. I've not checked back the whole day. So unless it was like, I waited at least 5 to 10 minutes and nothing came up.
Okay. All right. So let's explore that. Let's solve that. Right.
Okay.
We're gonna do a bunch of Googling. We're gonna do a bunch of digging and debugging to try to resolve that problem. Because in the last class we also didn't get S3 to trigger the Lambda function that I had set up for it to trigger, right? Now, there are a few things that may have caused that problem, right? Now, while S3 is global, right? S3 buckets, right, can be in a region, right? So when you set up an S3 bucket, it's in a region, while S3 by itself is global. Our Lambda function is also in the region. So first, let's see, are they even in the same region? Because if they're not, they can't talk to each other, right? So we're going to jump in, and this is now going to be collective. You may notice something on the screen that I don't, so let's not be shy. So let me sign in here. All right, so I'm signed in here, and this is the S3 bucket that I have, right, is align cat training, right? And let's look at the properties of this bucket. Okay. Um, object level login.
Could it be anything to do with the object login aspects?
No, I don't think it's that. No. Because this is so object level login. Let's see what it is. Record object level API activity, right? Using the CloudTrail data events. Oh, you know what? No, you do have a point because remember when we're setting it up, we said we needed to have CloudTrail enabled, right? You remember that? So when we're creating
Yeah.
the trigger, our trigger said we needed to have CloudTrail enabled. Okay. Now we haven't done CloudTrail yet, so we may need to jump into that. But excuse me, I just want to check and see if there's any other options here that we're missing or that we could use. So, all right. All right, let's do this. Let's create a new bucket, right? Just for um, our. So we call it Lambda test, right? Okay. And then the region we have here is US East. So yeah, I'll leave it at US East. Northern Virginia. Okay. We'll create this bucket. Oh, okay. Now the thing with S3 buckets is that the name has to be unique globally, pretty much, right? It's always good to kind of like namespace your buckets. Okay, so like the first, so like DACO hyphen, then whatever it is you want to call it. Because the bucket names have to be unique. So now I have SDev Lambda. Okay. And so this is the bucket you want to use to trigger. Want to use this bucket to trigger our S3 trigger Lambda function. Let's go with this. S3 change trigger. Right? All right. So let's delete that. Let's add a new trigger. What trigger do we want to add here? S3, right? Which bucket? SDev Lambda, right? I want all objects create events. Put this, copy, right? So what you were trying to do, that one was object delete. Okay. And you know what? Just as we started, I just realized what the issue was the last time we were creating it through CloudWatch. As CloudWatch tool. This time I'm doing it directly with S3. So go with all object create events, right? I don't need a prefix, I don't need a suffix, anything, and I'm going to enable this trigger. I'm going to add All right, there you go. That's our trigger. Okay, now let's look at our code here. And right here, just this file has changed. We're gonna save this. Okay, now we'll come to our bucket here. Let's add a file. And let's just add this beanstalk template to the zip file. Let's upload this. All right. So we've uploaded that. Let's now see if our nice friendly trigger here, if our Lambda function here has been triggered. Why are you still saying not yet? Make data available. Yes, look, it's been triggered here. File has changed. See that? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can see that. What? But why didn't it show up in the
That's
monitoring?
what do you say?
We didn't see it in the monitoring. Is that a separate issue then?
Yeah, I think this is just a matter of I don't know. I don't know why we're not seeing it in the monitoring, but we can see that it's been triggered. So in the last 1 hour, right there. Okay, it actually is no longer empty. It has 1 point. Look, it's not showing in the monitor.
Right, the damage man worked. I saw that dot on mine. I wasn't sure whether that was it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's a
Right.
trigger. If you mouse over it, look, yeah. So once you see this, then you know that okay, it's fired. If it doesn't
Okay.
say, yeah. And we didn't talk about this, but in the monitoring, we have this time ranges here that you use to control the data time range of these charts. So this is you want to see data from the last hour, from the last 3 hours. You see now, it now shows stuff for the last 3 hours, last 15 hours, and you can do a custom time, day, weeks, whatever range. Okay, so this is it is an important thing. So now that we have this, let's look at something interesting, right? Let's look at something interesting. How do we? What if in our Lambda function we wanted to actually see the name of the file that changed, right? So okay, it's triggered our Lambda function. That's fine, but wouldn't it be good to know what triggered the Lambda function? Would that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you look at the Lambda function here, you see that it exports a handler, right? And the handler is an arrow function with one parameter. The event parameter here has data about what triggered that this Lambda function. So if we come to this event parameter, let's console log it. Okay, we'll console log this.
Okay.
So we can see what triggered. We'll actually get the data, and there is a property of that event object that will give us information on what the trigger was. All right. So let's come here back to S3. right? And let's upload this file here. Let's add another file. Classroom is here. Do we have a classroom? The zip? We don't have that anymore. Training. Let's just put this hello.js there. That's fine. All right. So put this here. We can come here. And now remember that time thing that we had in the monitoring?
Yeah.
As some of these things, they are patterns in AWS. So you see a similar time range here. If I want to see what happened in the last 1 minute, right? It says, nothing, but there are older events, right, to load. So let's refresh this in the last 30 minutes. Okay. Just takes a little time apparently for it to get published. Let's refresh. When your events, so this is actually constantly refreshing. Let's come here and let's look at our monitoring and see what we have. There's a slight lag with, when things are reported to CloudWatch. That I've noticed. I don't know exactly what the rule is, but I think it's about a 5 minutes or so now. Let's see here. Yeah. So let's pull up the documentation for that. All right. Sorry. Put this right back there. And so AWS Lambda, right? Handler function. Oh, what am I doing? AWS Lambda handler callback. All right. So here, if we look at this documentation here, it tells us what about it. So the handler is a method in a Lambda function that processes events, right? When you invoke a function, right, the runtime runs the handler method. When the handler exits or returns a response, it becomes available to handle another event. So your handler needs to return before it becomes available. So at this point, which is why it returns response here, right? All right, so let's now see what the structure of that handler, and we're talking about this event, right? We're talking about this event object here. So we're looking for non-async handlers. So this is the context object. This context object just has information about the context. This is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the event object. And, Node.js event object. This is gonna take some digging. Anyway, let's see. I was hoping that would be faster than this guy here, but this is not giving us any information still. We want. It's not yet giving us the information that we need. All right, so come back here. Let's come back here. Same. All right, yeah, we're looking at the wrong log stream. Sorry. This right here is all we need. That's what we're looking for. So let's expand that. Look at that. Event name is object created, right? So let's do some more. Let's do some more console login on this. We want to see S3, right? This is what we're looking for here. So let's come here and update this. So what we want to do is want to console log events.s3. Yep. Let's save that. And then we actually have this set up for a copy as well. So if we select that and we say.
So can I just use the language? So that event. That event. I just want to get the language right here. So that event is it's a function, and you just call a method on it. Right or wrong?
No.
Okay. You did event.s3. I just want to. What's the right terminology for what you did there?
Yeah. So event is an object.
Okay.
It's an object. S3 is a property of it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And so just copy that here. Come on. Why didn't you copy? Okay. Well, never mind. I'm going to delete this. Let's delete that. All right. And let's upload again. And upload this too. Okay. All right. So, and then I'll show you. So let's look at this. So here's what I see here. So I did a console log of event, right? And
okay, yeah, so you're right.
That is here.
Okay.
So
yep.
and you see it is an object. Oh, you know what? Yeah, so this is going to be undefined because it's an object with a property called records, right?
Yeah.
This is an array.
Yeah.
And then that array is an array of objects that have a property called, has a property called S3, which is an object. That's what I'm interested in seeing. Okay, so records 0 dot S3. That's what I want to console log rather than. So we want to console log here. Event.records 0 dot S3. Right. So you see that this is now actually giving me it's actually giving me code hinting now. So if I do this, let's say, dot S3.
But it wasn't that list, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't in that list. So just say S3. Let's just do this. Yeah. Let's save this. Let's see if we got anything back. So let's come back to this log group here. Let's refresh this list here. Yes, we now have a new log entry here. Yeah, see it's undefined here.
Yep.
Right. So now let's come back here to S3. Let's delete this file again. Yeah, delete it. Let's upload it and we upload it. All right. So let's see. This should give us, I mean, our trigger is having quite a bit of action now. It looks like. We refresh that. 1 hour.
Yep, there is, I think.
You see it?
I think that line that line just got longer, didn't it?
Yeah. So let's look at it here. We'll come back to the log groups here. Right, so here we have 3. Let's refresh this. We should have 4 now. Okay. It's still undefined. Interesting. Hold on. So we probably are still doing something funky here. We're going to come look at this again. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to use it to define a response to call another Lambda function. All right. So record 0. Oh, I only have that S here. I'm missing the 3.
Okay.
And let's try that again. This joint. Upload it. Run again. Let's upload that. And then now we can come back in here. Come back to the log group. 4. We should have 5 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right, here. There you go. You see that?
Yep.
This is it. And so we have the information on it. Okay. So this is what we're looking for. Object. So this is information on the bucket. This is the information on the object. Right? And this way we can actually say, look, we knew that it's, let's look at the previous logs that we had. So I think this second log that we had here, it gave us the type of event, right? Object created, right?
Yes.
So let's use that to create a fancy response. So rather than file has changed, right? Let's say event, right?
Yep.
What's that key? That event name. Event name, right? and then we want event dot record, right? 0 dot s3 dot object dot, what was it? Was it bucket? So that object dot key,
Look here.
that object dot key.
So can you go back to
Right.
that first one, event name? So what was that bringing back?
That's going to tell us what it's going to tell us object created.
Oh, okay.
Right. So here now, rather than repeat this, right? Let's see. Let's cut this and save it as a variable called s3. So we'll say first s3 is that, right?
Okay.
That way we don't have to keep typing that long. We don't have to keep typing all of this all over and over again. So here you can just say s3.object.key and s3.bucket that I want to get the name of the bucket here. So s3.bucket.name. s3.bucket.name. Right. Now we can save this. And now that we've saved this in our logs, we should see this. So let's try it out. Let's come here. Let's delete this. Okay. Now it doesn't give us any data on delete, right? Because
we didn't log it, do we?
Yeah, we're not monitoring delete,
yeah.
Right? So the trigger delete does not trigger the bucket. This trigger is set to look at it. Well, let's do that. The trigger we have was set to just file creation or change, right? So if I come here, I actually don't have to delete for it to trigger. Come on, why do I keep pulling that up? I will just upload that same file again. Where am I? AWS Lambda. Okay. Just upload this. When we upload that, that should have triggered our function. If we come here, we refresh this. Take note of this refresh button, it's very useful. When we come here, oh, we're not yet there. How many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the last 1 minute, yes. Okay. Oh, right here. I noticed it's there already. See it? But this is undefined. So that key has to be wrong. Our event name key. So this first one, event.event name, is wrong. Let's see what it's supposed to be. Here, and that is, oh, it's records 0. It's like this event that records 0 that event name. Okay. Event name. Now we'll save this again. And now we can Let's upload this file. We should trigger without even deleting. So let's upload. And once it's updated, here. And this is the iPhone. Or 6. Alright, for the new one here. Yeah, see that? Can you see it? Object created put beanstalk, beanstalk demo.zip and sdev lambda.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So so we have our lambda function set up to handle that. Okay. Is it possible for this lambda function to trigger our beanstalk to do a deployment of this file version?
Yes.
Okay, so how would we do that?
I didn't say that next.
But it sounds like the kind of thing we would want to do, right?
Yeah.
That I mean,
It's like when we have files dropped on some servers and it kicks off another process to do something with it, either copy it to somewhere or, as you said, kick off another process. So yeah, I expect it's possible. How? I've not thought it through.
Okay, so how do we currently do a deployment? We come here, let's come in here. We come to ElasticBeanstalk here, right? And in Beanstalk, on the Beanstalk, right? We come here, we upload the file, and we deploy. Is that right?
Yep.
Right. Now, what is this tool we're using to do this?
Node.js.
What do you say?
I said Node.js.
No. So I mean, what is this interface you're using? What is this called? This whole
console?
Environment.
No. Yeah, so that was closed console. What console? The AWS management console.
Console, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah.
Now you remember that there are 3 ways that we could interact with AWS, right? We can use the management console. There are 2 other ways.
Command line?
Yeah, command line, yeah.
The AWS CLI, yes. And then the third one.
And use the GUI.
The what?
GUI.
No, the GUI is the management console. That's this one. So there's the CLI, command line interface. There's one that gives you programmatic access, like allows you to do all of this stuff from code. Who remembers what that's called? The SDK.
SDK.
Yeah, the software development.
Okay.
Right? So if you wanted to do this deployment using the SDK or using a Lambda function, you would use the AWS SDK. Right? So now that I don't know if, let's see if we can, who's up for trying that?
Yeah.
Who's up for trying that? Anyone?
Yeah. You said who's up for what?
For us trying that in this class.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
All right. Okay. So, what's the first thing we do? What are we going to do? What's the first thing we're going to do?
Sign out?
No. So remember, we're trying to solve a problem.
So
that we haven't solved before, right? So
We Google and look for Stack Overflow answers.
no, not necessarily Stack Overflow this time, no. But in this case, yes, we will go to, we're going to do a Google search. And what we want to do is AWS SDK, JavaScript, deploy ElasticBeanstalk, right? Oh, actually, let's just start off with AWS SDK JavaScript, right? Right here. Okay. If we look at this now, I can show you. I've done this from the CLI, so I can actually show you an example from the CLI of what it is we're trying to do. But what I'm going to show you is where's my terminal? Oh, there it is. So you see my terminal? Right. Let me see. Is this the one I want?
Quick question: is vim a Linux command?
Yes, it's a file editor. It's a Linux file editor.
So what's the equivalent in Windows or Mac?
Windows Notepad. Mac text edit. All right, so this is the CLI version of what we're trying to do. Okay. This is the CLI version of what we're trying to do. Right here. AWS ElasticBeanstalk create application version, right? And then AWS ElasticBeanstalk update environment. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create an application version from S3, and we're trying to ask it to update environment with that application version. Okay? Those are the two commands that we need right now. So what we want to look for is we want to do SDK JavaScript, Beanstalk, create application version. Let's see if there's something like that. Okay, actually, yeah, let's just open this. This is the class definition, right? ElasticBeanstalk, within the API version. So these are the methods. Now, let's look at this class. Let's look at this documentation here. Since you all have some basic Node.js and JavaScript, right? This is not Greek. This is not Greek. Look, you recognize this, right?
Yes.
What is this doing?
It's declaring a variable.
Okay.
ElasticBeanstalk, the new ElasticBeanstalk.
So it's calling the function new. So that variable is now variable ElasticBeanstalk is set, and when you use it, it calls the function AWS.ElasticBeanstalk.
That's not a function.
Oh, Here we go again. Method? No, what is it then? Okay, go on.
When you have the new keyword, what does that mean?
Spawn.
Oh, start a new instance.
A new instance of a
ElasticBeanstalk?
no.
Okay.
New
Is it an
Method.
object?
The new keyword, yes. The new keyword is creating a new object. Whenever you see
Okay.
new, that means create a new object. So this is creating a new AWS ElasticBeanstalk object in JavaScript. It is not creating a new beanstalk.
Okay.
It's creating a new beanstalk object instance in JavaScript, right? That is what this line is. Okay. This is just an example, but this is the kind of stuff that we want to do. So we want to create a new Elastic Beanstalk, right? And then on that object, right? On that object, we have a bunch of properties, right? And we have a bunch of methods. The method we're looking for, this is about environment update, that's not it. Create application. Create application version, right? This is what we need, right? So we need to create an application version, and then we need to deploy, we need to update the environment. So the two methods we're looking for are create application version and update environment. All right. So if we look at the documentation for create application version, we click on that, it gives us the documentation for it, right? And here, the following, wait, what are we looking at? Yes, create application version. And here's examples to create a new application. Okay, these are the parameters. Version label, the source location, right? Location, S3, source location. For S3, the format is S3 bucket name and object key. Okay. Do you recognize these two?
Yeah.
S3 bucket name and object key. Remember our Lambda function, we were able to access them. S3 object key and S3 bucket name. So we need those two parameters, right? Okay. And so we need the S3 bucket key. All right. So if we look at what I have and what I did here, right? We need the application name, the version name that we want, right? And the description. Okay. So application name is this. Where's S3? This is our application name, right?
Yeah. Yes.
We have the bucket key, the bucket, the object key, the bucket name. The version is whatever we want to call it. Okay. Let's work through it very quickly. All right. So let's do this here. Let's clear this. All right. Return. Here we're going to say return done. Okay. You always have to return. If you don't return, the trigger will essentially hang. It will not be released to handle another the Lambda function will hang if you don't return. It will be released to handle the next trigger. It will still wait because it will assume it's not done handling the trigger. So what is always important to have a return. What we'll do here is we'll just do a console log here. Console log. Actually, no, hold on, sorry. I mean that. I did something I don't want to do. Let's not get rid of this line here. We need that. All right. And then we'll just do, we'll get rid of the response. We'll leave the response. We'll leave the response. I'll just leave everything. Let's just do the code up there. All right. So we need those variables, so I'll just leave them there. Now let's do this. We want an AWS object, right? So say const AWS equals require, right? AWS SDK, right? And then we'll say const beanstalk equals new AWS that
Was it ElasticBeanstalk?
yeah, I think ElasticBeanstalk. Let's see what it says in the. Let's go back to the documentation. And this is really how you have to use documentation. So here, let's come back here. All right, so yeah, ElasticBeanstalk. All right. Okay. So now, and what we're doing is we're doing a create application version, right? So we want to create application version. We'll say, oh, right here, sorry. So we have our beanstalk. So we want to say in here in our handler, let's come here and say beanstalk, right? The create application version, right? Our parameters is going to be a JSON object. So like this. I don't know if you noticed that here, but the parameters. Remember, typically when you offer configuration, it's usually a JSON object because it's like key value there, right? So application name here, we want our application name here to match. Application name is this. Okay. And then, oh, what did I do? All right. Application version. Let's come back here. Let's see what else we have here. Description. Okay. We have description. Automatically deployed version, right? And then let's look at the keys that we need. We need source bundle, right? Which is an object that has S3 bucket and S3 key. All right. So we're going to do this source bundle. Source bundle. This is an object with. I need to check to see if it's uppercase. So everything here is uppercase. So S3 bucket is our S3 bucket dot name, right? And S3 key is a S3 dot object dot key. All right. One last thing that we need is the version. And let's see what that property is called. The version label. So we have this version label. Version label. Right. Will be S3 dot object dot key dot date dot time. Sorry. Plus all right. Let's run this and see. Let's save this and let's try this out. If it fails, we have CloudWatch to help us figure out what it did. Let's try this out. Actually, let's try running a test. And this is our event.
And so you're using bucket name, and that's because bucket names are unique. Is that correct? I'm just trying to work out how it would find its way and pick it up.
Bucket name is this.
And it's unique. So it's not like...
Yeah, it is unique. You remember when I tried to do something else, it told me the name was already in use?
That's fine. Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah, so it's unique. Yes, you're right. Which is why it can pick it up. It doesn't need to know. Yeah, the bucket name is unique. No, that's sufficient. All right, let's try this. I was going to test it, but to test it, I'm going to need to create this, response object with the S3 and the bucket name and all that. I mean, we can do that here. So let's do a test. So here we need to have S3, which is the object. Then here we're gonna have bucket, an object, name test bucket, right? And then here we have object key, test key. All right, let's see if this test works. Let's put that. All right. Oh, there's an error in my JSON. Yes. Of course. Just everything has to be. So, this.
So what are we doing here? We're going to set up a Lambda function.
No, I'm creating a test. I want, yeah, so you can test your Lambda function before actually running it, right?
Okay.
But to create it, you essentially create a test. And your test essentially calls it and passes it a specific event right? So it's format JSON. Let's say create now. All right, so it's created my test. Okay. So we have my test now. I can hit test. Let's see. Let's my test run. Type error, cannot read property 0 of undefined. Where's that? So in my Lambda function. Cannot read property 0 of undefined, yes. Okay, so I actually still need to do this. I need to edit my test. Configure test events. And here, here's what we're missing. We need record. That's an array, right? All right. Let me see. Does this help me if I just format JSON? Nope. I have to do it myself. But testing is important because it's code. It's an error in your JSON event corrected before. So S3. It shouldn't matter. The indentation shouldn't matter. And then object. And records. Yeah. What's wrong? Can you guys see anything wrong with this? That's matched. That's matched. That's matched. That's matched. I don't see what's wrong with this. Excuse me. 1 second. All right. Oh, yeah, sorry. There is an error here. This needs to be an object. I had my S3 floating without being an object. So it needs to be an object like that. All right, it's all formatted now. Let's see. All right, so let's try running this test again. Test. All right. Date the time. Wait, what? Oh, not date that time, sorry. It's date that now. I'm mixing up PHP and JavaScript. So this here, let me just tell you what I'm trying to do here. This here will just append, if you come here to the terminal, right? Node. and say date dot now. This is the timestamp for the current time. It's totally unique. If I do this again, you see, next one is different. All right. This allows us to, I'm just using it to generate a unique version. Every time I create a version, it will be unique. Remember, when you try to create a version here in Beanstalk, if the version name already exists, it will fail, right? Does anyone remember that?
Yes, it would help you adjust your version label.
Yes, so your version label has to be unique for every version. So what I'm doing here is I'm just using a trick. This is a trick that we use in programming. If you want something unique, just use the timestamp, because the timestamp never happens twice. Once it happens, that timestamp is never happens again, because time is constantly moving, right? So
Yeah,
the
that makes sense. Yeah.
So timestamp is a good way of generating unique, especially if it's something that, unless it's something that's triggered, that could potentially be triggered twice in the same millisecond. That's 1/1000th of a second. There's a chance it could be triggered twice. Then that may not work. But in this case, it's unlikely that you would trigger deploying an application twice in the same millisecond. So this is okay. So that's why we're dynamically generating a label that is unique. All right. So I'll fix this now and I'll run my test again. And this is the purpose of running tests, right? So that, oh, I haven't saved it. Let me save this. I'll run a test again. And this time, it worked. This time it actually worked. Okay? It actually worked this time. So here, let's do this. I'm going to change the log here. And we're going to say app version has been created. Okay? And we're going to make this into a variable so that we can reuse it. Does that make sense? And here, this is what I mean.
Yeah. So you're gonna do a constant, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay.
Right? That way we can reuse that name. This is one of the reasons you create variables, so that I can just use it here and use it here and not have to type that whole thing twice. Remember, never repeat yourself wherever it's possible. Okay? So I've saved that. So this appears to work, which means we can try it out. Let's look at what versions we have here for our Beanstalk. So if we come here to application versions for our Beanstalk, okay, this is the most recent version. That was created a few days ago, right? On the 30th of May. Let's try and upload to our S3 bucket now. All right, upload. All right. And let's come here. Let's look at our CloudWatch. Let's refresh this. Sorry, let me come here, refresh this so that we can get. Yeah.
Well, so while we're waiting for that to come through, any file we dump in that.
Look at this. It has our, yeah.
Will it use any file we put in?
Yes.
So even if it's a rubbish file, like a text file, it will try to deploy it.
Yes, it will try to deploy. It will try to create an app version from it. So look at this. This is demo.zip. That has been created. Let's come to our Beanstalk and see if the magic has happened. All right.
This will be amazing if it has.
All right. So let's refresh this.
This will be modern day witchcraft.
Where is it? Maybe it's still in the process of creating.
It might be still doing it.
Let's see, 5:30. Let's look at this documentation. Is there anything else we need to do after create app version? Oh, there's a callback here. Okay, so let's see what the callback. Create app version, function error data. All right, so let's try this. Let's do a callback so we see there's an error message, right?
Okay.
So this is the callback. It's an anonymous function that takes error and data, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
who can help me with this? So the first parameter to create application version is the options. So the second parameter here is our callback. How do I write that? Arrow function, remember?
Yeah.
Error data,
Base dot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then we'll say if error, right?
Yep.
Then console.log error, right?
Yep.
Let's see, that's maybe something like that. Error and error.stack. Okay. And
Yep.
else, all right. So we're gonna do that here. Error, error. All right.
Yep.
Here, else.
Else.
Else is where we want to put this. So we want this to only show if it succeeded.
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you just do the console log, the same thing?
Yeah. Well, no. Else, we're console logging this, and let's say console.log data. All right. And let's save this. Let's try that again.
Are we gonna test first? No.
Yeah, we can test. We can test. Can run a test. Do they run? No, hold on. Run the test now. No. All right, so we ran our test, and our test was successful. We set to green, so that the status is succeeded. All right, so we know our code is good. That's what the test does for us. It tells us our code is good. So let's come in and let's actually try to use it and see what we get. So we're going to upload this file again. Add file. This beanstalk demo.zip. Upload that. All right. And let's come here to CloudWatch. Fresh. We have this. That's 7:17. What's the time right now? 7:18. So this is probably it. Okay. Does anyone see any info in any of this? No? There's nothing here. Right?
Yep. Have we got a new one now? Yep.
No, we don't have a new one. Same one.
Okay, still saying 11. Oh, okay.
So let's do this. Let's add here. Before we start this here. Right, let's say console.log creating new application version, right? And app version. All right, let's do that so that we can see when it's starting. It's not waiting for this. The other thing that we need to do is, I think we may also be suffering from race conditions, but let's see what we have here first.
From what ambitions?
Race conditions.
Oh, risk. Oh, okay.
So, which is that this may be calling before it's done. Right. Do this here. Let's save this. Let's test this. All right, succeeded. All right, let's try this again. Upload, add file, start new folder, save, upload. Did you say if this works, it's modern witchcraft?
Yes.
Modern day witchcraft.
You got it? Yeah?
Let's see what we have.
So you got a new version loaded. 779.
So yeah, so we have the info,
But do we have to have the actual deployment?
but we don't have the error.
But what makes you think it failed though?
Well, that is the question. What's this? I request ID. Creating new application version. So this is it being triggered. 2117. And there's no error. There's no error.
So is your Beanstalk even running? Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to deploy it yet. I'm just trying to create an application version.
Oh, sorry. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So let me ask a question here.
Stop dev training. Hold on. Oh, what I have here. I have the wrong application. Look, the application here. This is wrong. It's supposed to be just sub dev training. But and there's a space there. This is what I'm looking for, right? Save that. That's this. So which means this doesn't throw an error if I put even a rubbish application there. But let's try that again and see if that's fixed it. Okay, let's upload this and upload this here. That's uploaded. Let's come here. Let's come to our log groups here. Refresh this. Beanstalk. Work with me here. Work with me. Work with me. Come on.
So you got the right name. You got the same. You got the right name. So
Yeah.
the training.
Yeah. So I have. Wait. What's this? They created. Python 3. Okay. Yeah. So. I do have the sub dev training. That's the application name, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And in that application,
you can't check. Okay, right. So you said that you're trying to create an application version, not deploy.
yes, I'm trying to create an application version first. Let me delete all these versions that existed here before. All right. Deleted all of them. That I have a clean, empty, no versions here. Right. That's for sub dev training. No version. All right. Okay. And then here, some interesting. I don't understand why this didn't work. I mean, like, if it doesn't work, it should throw an error. It should completely error out for me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it shouldn't just be silent. And here's the callback, error data. Like it should totally. It should totally. All right. What can I do with a request? Let's try this.
Yeah.
Requested on success. All right. Let's do this. Okay. I don't understand how it would be. Uh, okay, there's no bugs in that. And let's just check this again.
And they have their this console log just showing the result versus the combination that you have. Is there any difference? Like, so if you look at their console log, it's just returning the text versus you have the text plus something else.
Yeah. 1 second. So here, what this is doing here is it's doing the response, and then it's doing, okay. All right, I'm gonna do this here. That's that return response. Oh, I have response being redefined. How did it not fail? Yeah. All right. This test should have failed. All right. Yeah. Let's try this again. Sorry, you were saying something, Rob?
No, yeah, so I noticed that so for your console log, you have just they had just a string.
Yeah.
Versus you have a string and a function response or something.
Right. Remember, you're a developer, you're god of your code. So they chose to only do this. I wanted to do something, yeah. So you can do, this just gives you an example.
Okay.
Right, yeah. But you do whatever it is that you need to do.
Okay.
And so let's see, come on, this stuff needs to, all right, where's this? If we don't get this working, someone is going to pick this up and have at it.
Someone.
Yeah, sounds like Daco Ralph is going to have a fun weekend.
Yeah, Ralph.
No, I'll just do copy and paste, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's a great intellectual challenge, though. Trying to work it out.
So here, let's see. Let's do this. So let's say just do not working, and let's see if someone has complained about it yet. No stuck overflows. Okay, right there. Oh, look at that. Someone is trying to do this. Let's see what this guy's trying to do. So, okay, upload to S3. Okay, so create application application version. This is exactly what we did, right?
Yes.
All right. And this here.
Well, what's this promise thing?
Promise is
Is that something he created?
no. Okay. This may be. Okay. So, but the documentation didn't say that that returns a promise, but that would make sense. Remember, I said something about race conditions, right?
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it here. I'll talk about it more in the back end, but it is one nuance of JavaScript because it's asynchronous. You can have a block of code execute while another block of code is still executing, even though the lines are after each other. Like you have a line calling the function, another line calling another function. If the function that's being called first is asynchronous, it will fire the call, but it will wait for it to complete before it fires the next one. If the next one depends on data, if the second function or the code after that function call depends on data from that function call, we will have race conditions because it will start trying to use data that does not yet exist. So to handle that, JavaScript has what's called promises, right?
Okay.
Where the code, the asynchronous function, right, the function that's running async, will return a promise. And then the code after that that depends on that function will be executed inside the promise handler. And what that does is it makes that code wait until the function says, okay, I'm done. Here's the data I promised. And then that code picks it up and then can run. That avoids the race conditions. It's called race conditions because they are essentially running a race, but this has already gone before the baton has been handed over, pretty much. Okay? So that's why promises exist. So this here, from that example, it looks as if, and so now let's see, let's come back here. It says it returns a request, right? So we're looking at this create application version, right? Create application version. That's what we're looking at here. And let me see, let's look at it again. Yeah. But this is not set up as a promise, it's set up as callback. Application name. Build configuration. The following element is returned by application version and then error. Okay. This is XML. This one is an XML, but this still just explains. Okay, let's try this. We're going to try the auto create application. Let me add this and let's see what it does. let's see here. If this doesn't work, we'll just give this a couple more minutes and then we'll have to suspend this and look at something else. But I hope you guys found this interesting.
Yeah, I did though.
Was it was it educative?
Yeah,
Educative. It's also
educative for sure.
give me a headache as well.
All right, so let's see. 740. Okay, this is the latest one here. So we'll hit this here. On court. Aha. Look at that. Have we been missing this?
Missing what?
Unexpected identifier.
Your error message.
Yes.
I don't think we had error on the last one.
Yeah, let's run a test here and see. Yeah, okay. There is, yeah, we didn't have an error before. And it says unexpected identifier. So it's just right here where I did this. Wait, what's the error? Unexpected identifier. What's the unexpected identifier?
Okay.
Is it telling us which line?
No, it's not. I mean, so the trace here is not very helpful, unfortunately.
One time just syntax error.
If I take this line out and save this, test, it's good. But if I add that line back, okay, let me see. Let's see what is going on here. Create application version, auto create application. That's what we need. That's right, this here. Save, test. It hates that. Why do you hate that? Okay. If I type it in manually. Yeah, it only hates if I copy it and paste it. All right. So let's upload this again. Upload file. Restart the zip of that. Let's come back here. The application versions. Okay, the applications here. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah, this is crazy because it should fail. It should fail. Should fail. There's nothing in the logs here. Let's look at the latest. Stream. Um, yeah, come back here, man. Let's do this. That's the error. That's the failure. This is insane. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to. We'll have to abandon this mission here and talk about the RDS connections the gentlemen are trying to do. But this literally is mind-boggling because even if it doesn't find the application, right?
Why is it not giving us an error?
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem because at the very least, at the very least, it should fail. Right here, what I'm seeing here in the log, I don't see error. If I make it, what if I make it not return except on success? I think I already did that, right? So if I do this, and I don't. I take all of these out. And I will able say return response, right? I think we did this before. Say this. This. Okay. Again. And we'll try it. After I try it this time, we'll just talk through it, make sure that everyone's clear as to what we did, right? And then I'll copy out the code of the Lambda function and paste it and see if someone can try to get it fixed.
Yes, that's a good challenge. I'll take that challenge on.
That would be amazing if one of you guys can get it fixed. That would be like totally awesome. So we're looking here. And then we were events. All right. Yeah. This is a horrible thing because if it was throwing errors, that would be fantastic. If it was succeeding, that would be fantastic. This no news is not a good situation. And that is just totally frustrating. you know, this is when we failed. Going back, this is that failure we had. Anyway, so I'm going to copy this out and paste it in Slack. Let's come here. Because you don't have access to this. This isn't my account. So I'm going to copy out this body. Okay, I'll just copy out the whole thing. Paste this in Slack. All right. So this is an infrastructure. Where's infrastructure? I can, if we have an infrastructure channel.
I think we've been posting in the general one in the past. I think.
So create an infrastructure channel. Add specific people. I think I'll assume just the people here are in infrastructure. So that's it. Ralph. Jimmy. Jimmy. Who else is on? Shin. Right. And
Oh, okay.
what am I missing?
Dio. Dio's on as well.
Oh, Dio.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
You guys can add me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Okay. So that's the that's our Lambda function. The second part of it, if we had gotten this part to work, the second part of it would have been the kicker. That's the one I was excited about. Because with that one, we would have just, triggered update environment with the version. But we need this response. The problem I have here is that it is not, hold on. Let me remove the async. Yeah. Hold on here. Let me take away this async here. Make it not an async. Yeah. Save that. Test this. Did I test it? Okay. All right. Upon arrow function parameter list.
Do you have to qualify the event?
No. Can't be that picky. It is actually that picky. All right. Problem then. All right, let's see. Let's give this a shot again. Did I upload? Yeah, I did. right?
I think so.
I scratched my ear and forgot everything. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it felt good though, scratching my ear, but I completely forgot what I not had to update. All right, let's see where we are here. Access denied. There you go.
You're not authorized.
There you go. Oh, jeez. Oh.
So, what did you fix that you made you get a better error? Sorry, I cannot.
Ah. Hold on, let me enjoy the error message first. That's really, really good.
So this is the life of a coder, right? Looking for error messages. It's crazy.
Yeah. All
It's
right.
crazy, man.
Okay. So the issue here. Well, first thing that I changed was I stopped it from I removed the async
Okay.
there so that it would actually wait until everything is done.
In order. Okay.
Yes. Yep. So if you come here and you Google JavaScript async, the async keyword, right?
Yep.
Look at what it says. An async function is a function described with the async keyword. Async functions are instances of a long story, and the await keyword is permitted within them. The async and await keywords enable asynchronous promise-based behavior to be written in a cleaner style, avoiding the need to explicitly configure promise chains, right? So rather, this is how it is without async, and this is how it is with async. You have the await resolve. All right. So anyway, pretty much. Remember what I said. Race conditions. Lambda returned before the script had even finished running because it's treated it as an async function, right? And I don't have an await in there. Okay, I didn't have an await in there. So I removed the async so that it is blocking and it runs directly. Now that we have our error, this is actually an error that we can fix. And this error is an access denied error because this lambda function I have does not have the privileges on ElasticBeanstalk that it needs.
Okay.
So let's go in there. I have an IAM role that I had already created, and there's a part of the configuration that I had ignored, right? That I had said we'll talk about later. So where's not VPC? I need to assign to it an IAM role. So here, these are an existing role, right?
Yes.
I wanted to use.
So it's okay. This is for your lambda function, right?
Yes, for the lambda function. Create a new role. Let's do create a new role. So this is lambda DB modifier. We'll have to talk about roles maybe in the next session so that this will make more sense. All right. ElasticBeanstalk. My screen. I'm gonna have to search for this. Okay.
Where it says, sorry, the error, is it
Yeah.
after denied, or is it in regards to AWS or to S3 itself?
What did you say?
The access denied, was it in regards to S3 or was it in regards to AWS?
Is regards to Lambda, and well, it's that the Lambda function does not have the privileges to do what it's trying to do on ElasticBeanstalk.
Oh, okay.
Right. So here, attach policies. Here, add a new policy. I'm going to add ElasticBeanstalk. AWS ElasticBeanstalk full access account. Check this. So attach policy. Right, so now has ElasticBeanstalk full access policy as well on it. So let's see. That should give it the ability to do what it is that we want to do. What's the time? No, it hasn't run yet.
103.
Okay, all right, so let's see. That's still quite early there. All right, so this is different now. We're not getting a response immediately. This is 7 still. Look. Right here. Look, right here.
Yeah.
Who knows what this is?
Automatically, yeah. Unprocessed, status unprocessed.
Who cares about that? Look at this.
Oh, yes.
We have our version. Oh. All right. Who's willing to give 10 more minutes? Let's make it deploy it.
I'm game.
Yeah, 10 more minutes. Okay.
Just for the last piece of it.
What's 10 minutes amongst friends?
All right. So let's do it. So now here we have. So we've got. So now we have it where it can create an application and a new version, right? And so in the response of that, right, in here, in the callback, when it creates the new version, right, when it succeeds, which is here. Oh, yeah. Hold on, I didn't even notice that. Where it says whatever has been created. Yeah, there. Good. That's a success message. Okay. All right. So where it says that, on that right here, we will then have it update environment, right? So let's come back in here to our documentation where we want to go. We're just going to go all the way down to the bottom. update environment. Oh yeah, that's the Beanstalk service. I want to look for update environment. So update environment. This one here. That's all we want to use. So we go there. And what do we need? We need the environment name and the version label. Okay. All right. So environment name here. So let's see. You guys can. Where's the environment name? Oh shit! It's right there on the screen. This one. So we want to do update environment. For that, we're going to do so we can get this. Let's just add log in there so that we have more. Also that log updating environment, right? This is just so that there's outputs in the logs. And then we'll say beanstalk, right? Dot update environment. And then it takes a JSON object again, right? This time we want environment name. Right. Environment name needs to be that. All right. And version label is app version. See another benefit of saving it in a variable?
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, this is almost literally the only way you can do this properly, is to have the app version be a variable. Okay, and then we need our callback, which will take error data again. I'm assuming it's a standard format, and then let's just do this.
The data, I think you mean the data spelling.
What's wrong with the spelling of the data?
DTT.
Oh, okay. Yeah. DTA. And I'll even name it differently, and then we'll just say if error, right? Also log error stack, right? Else also log
Yay! Yay!
environment updated successfully. All right, and we're done. Let's save this, and then we test. Oh yeah, we're good. Test is successful, no syntax errors. This is okay. And so we're going to try. We come to our beanstalk here. It still has this version, right?
Yeah.
So now we're expecting that if we come into S3, right, we upload this file, beanstalk demo.zip, we upload that, right? We're looking for, let's see, do we have any action going on here? Nope.
Nope.
So here, let's refresh this. What's the time on that? 8:09. Okay, 10.
30 seconds ago.
All right, so let's see what we have. Error. There are two validation errors. Okay, so it created the version which we can see here. Application versions, we now have two. But we have an error, which is, I mean, this is fantastic. Just see an error is a good thing. All right, and it's multiple validation errors. There were two validation errors. Unexpected key, environment name. Oh yeah. So it's just my case. These are supposed to be uppercase.
Oh, really? That it?
Yep. JavaScript is case sensitive. Validation label. If I look here, you see that? A version label. And that's all. That's what it was. So we save this. And we come here. We upload this file again. I literally am going to make a blog post of this. Like I will. I'm going to make a post of this because if you do the Google search, you won't find solutions for this that do exactly what we did. So it is postable. All right. And so let's see. Come here. Come back here. Let's look for this here. 8:11. Yeah, that looks like that should be right. Right now, just 12. Here. Environment updated successfully.
Do we believe that message?
Well, let's see. Let's see. This is our environment, right?
Yeah.
Look at the
Yes.
version.
Wow. Yeah.
We copy this. And we come to application versions, right?
Yeah.
And we search for that. Look at that. Automatically deployed version.
Hang on. What's going on there?
These are the versions we've been creating.
Oh, version. Okay.
These are versions, yeah. This is the
Yeah, but why
environment.
is it automatically deployed version though? They weren't deployed, were they?
It was, because that's what I wrote here. That's my version description. Automatically deployed version.
Oh, okay. So it's just a text, really.
Yeah. It's just what I add as a description. Yeah. But yes, so this right here, we did it end to end. We did it end to end.
Wow. That took some doing though.
So let me cut this out and let me copy this and paste it in Slack so that we can mess around with it. All right. We did it. We did it. That was ambitious, but we did it. All right. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So the last few minutes of the 10 minutes, let me just explain the pieces so you can try it yourself. Right.
Yes. Good.
Now, first piece, you need the S3 bucket.
Yep.
Okay. I created a new S3 bucket for that, but you can use an existing S3 bucket.
Yeah.
Created an S3 bucket, and then created the Lambda function and added an S3 trigger.
Yep.
And then when you add the S3 trigger, so add trigger, look for S3 here. Add an S3 trigger, right? Select the bucket, from the list of buckets. It will show you your buckets, right?
Yeah.
And then what events. I did all object create events. So put, post, copy, whatever. Multi-part, upload, completed. This is the one that's actually triggering for us because we're doing the file upload from the form. So any of these events, right? You select the events you want to trigger. In this case, since we're doing a deployment, it has to be you add a new file, right? You do all of this, you end up with this, right? This trigger is connected to it. And then we just write out the function. Now, for the function, we're using the AWS SDK node module, right? So this is the JavaScript module for AWS. Okay, this is the SDK. Remember, we're using the SDK approach now for interacting with AWS. We're interacting with it programmatically because we're replacing the manual file upload and manually adding a version here. We're making it such that you can just do it from S3. In the next session, we'll create a Jenkins server and have it put the file in S3 automatically from Git. So that's what we're going to work on in the next session. Right. Okay. So right now we're manually uploading into S3. In the next session, we're going to have it such that once a developer does a Git push, it will automatically take it, package it, and put it in S3. So it's going to be seamless. There's going to be no touch, no need to come into S3 here. I will work that and make it happen. All right. So, but for now, this is this. And I will share something that you guys should probably go check up on before that. All right. That's not till Wednesday, so there's still quite some time. All right. So, and that's it. So we use the SDK and we use the ElasticBeanstalk object.
Yeah.
And they're the class, right? We use the ElasticBeanstalk because if you look at the documentation and you go to the top of this, oh, come on. Right, to ElasticBeanstalk service. Right, to come to the top of this documentation, look at that class, AWS.ElasticBeanstalk.
Yep.
Okay, which is why we can say new AWS.ElasticBeanstalk. Okay, so this is the class. And you saw how we use the class documentation. This is how you look for reference and you look for documentation, right? And that's it. So the rest of the code, if you look at it, it's all the same JavaScript that we've done. There's nothing new here that we haven't covered. All right, and that's it. Any questions?
Okay. I'm looking at environment name. Has to match whatever.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So all your values have to match. So if you come here to AWS, to Beanstalk, and you come to environments, this is a good way to view environment name, application name.
Yep.
Okay, so you have the environment name and you have application name.
Is there anywhere we put the S3 bucket name?
Yes.
Yes. So
So here you have the bucket name and the object key. All right, hold on. Right up here. So S3 bucket source bundle. The S3 bucket is the bucket name. S3 key is the object key.
Okay. Now, just thinking that maybe we had specifically named the bucket in the script, so it's basically just going to pick any.
Yeah, we didn't name it right.
Yeah.
We didn't name it in the script. It will because we're getting it from the event, which is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of it, is that it tells, it tells the Lambda function, hey, I am the one that changed. It gives it all the information it needs. It is very dynamic. So you can plug as many buckets as you want into this. The only thing that's hard-coded is the application, the target application, and the target environment. Those are hard-coded in here. You get what I mean?
Yes.
They're hard-coded. Yeah. So that's it.
All right.
All right. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yinka, I'm in
Yes.
a bit of a bind on two
Okay.
fronts. First, I got an email from Amazon saying I've exceeded my free tier, S3.
Okay.
I was wondering how that happened. That's the first thing. Second thing is I was unable to deploy my ElasticBeanstalk, the Beanstalk demo, and I'm not sure if there's something wrong with it.
Okay. So, let's see. Because I want to run out now before it's dark, but have you been uploading a whole bunch of stuff to S3?
Okay, you're still recording.
Oh yeah, let me start recording. Sorry. Let's get into the after party. So, let's start.